Doing it. We're live. It is Friday, and our top. Well, you know what? We don't have a guest, so it's just stream of consciousness or some shit. That's what it is tonight. Welcome.
Extra, an extra long vlog.
Raging. All right, here we go. Dropping the card. Hey, Nita.
Hey, Mare.
um, I actually wanted to talk about our Kickstarter experiences. You good with that? Because I'm coming from two perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming from as a prose writer putting a book up, which I
Okay.
still have to deliver, and a comic book, which we went through a lot of hurdles and managed to. We're in the process of delivering. So two totally different perspectives, two totally different not genres. Um, I guess format, but at the same time, it's still Kickstarter. You know what works, what doesn't, and things like that. So I kind of wanted to share that experience, and I know that our last Kickstarter with Continuum Comics was your first one,
Mm-hmm.
and so some of your thoughts with that, because I don't know how much of the behind the scenes as far as the technical stuff on Kickstarter itself. Were you able to get admin stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all
I
right.
didn't fuck with it.
Right, but at least you could see what we were doing in
Right.
there. Okay, yeah. So that's something that I wanted to talk about, and I don't know if we wanted to open this up to anybody who is listening, who's had their Kickstarters. Successes and failures, because I'm going to talk about my very first Kickstarter, which was a failure, and I'm not shy about talking about it because, in a way, I set myself up for failure and I'm good with that. I own it.
Right.
So I don't know. Do you want to? I mean, if anybody's tuning in, I know I shared it to Facebook and Twitter, but right now we are doing something different. We are only live streaming to our YouTube channels because Facebook keeps putting our friends in Facebook jail, and we don't want that to happen. So a lot of times we'll cuss. We might be a little raunchy with each other, but that doesn't mean we are bullying anybody. We don't allow that, first of all. I want to be very clear. We do not allow bullying or harassing or anything like that. We do that with each other because we know each other and we have that comfort that we can do that and it's not warring or anything. I don't need a bot to be my mother,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or my
Right.
censor or my handler. I don't
Right.
need that.
I have
So
enough of that shit on Twitter. I don't need it on Facebook too.
yeah, I know. What's going on with Twitter anyway? Are you still out or are you in Twitter jail now?
I am in Twitter jail, but I am allotted certain privileges right now. Like I can retweet and I can like a few things, but just a few because it's more than two or three, and it's like, oh, I'm a bot again.
You know what? Here's the thing. Okay, so you had significant growth on your Twitter account. I mean,
Yeah.
significant growth. You went from like
22, 22 followers.
to over 1,000 in a relatively short amount of time, and so that can be picked up as bot activity, but when
It
it's
was at first.
legit, but when it's legit, when you are putting in the time and the effort to grow and you're finding people that you want to connect with and who are connecting back with you, uh I mean, how do you fight that? How do you say, hey, I'm a real person?
I quit. I don't give a fuck. Because guess what? I've been suspended for 3 days, and guess what? Each day I got more followers.
That's
that,
so
that
weird.
shit. So fuck you, Twitter.
Yeah, so weird.
The first couple of times they ended up, the very first time they stuck out the 3 day. I did contact, but I didn't get contacted back until after they'd already released me. The second
Mm-hmm.
time they gave me a 3 day, and then like within 24 hours, my account was fully activated again.
Mm-hmm.
Third time, same thing. Fourth time was a full 3 day, and this time it's been a kind of weird. The past 2 times actually have been a kind of weird. Here we're gonna let you do this, this, and this once an hour, but nothing more.
Yeah.
And of course, they don't give you these guidelines. You have to figure them out for yourself. Be like, oh, let me get on there. Oh, I can like this. Oh, cool, I can like again. And then it's like, oh nope, that was all I could like. Why did I waste my one fucking like on that shit there?
Oh man. See, and you don't know. You don't know when
Mm-mm.
it's gonna bazinga you, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, you're done for another 3 days. Sorry. Or not sorry. That stinks.
Yeah.
And but see here, I've had the account for like 10 something years, and all of a sudden it's like um you know, I didn't pay attention to it for like 3 years. I mean, sorry, no, I didn't pay attention to my Twitter account for like 7 or 8 years. And only in the last couple of years did I actually grow or pay attention to it and see value in it. So let's talk about that for a little bit. The
Okay.
value of our Twitter accounts, of our social media, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And so just I want you, because I've got to deal with something real quick.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm not leaving. I'm right here. I'm just putting myself on mute. But I want you to talk about some of the contacts that you've made and some of the growth that you've had, and the reasons why, and
I
some of the
haven't made
sales.
any special
And
contacts.
no, well, because of your contacts through Twitter, we've actually had some sales on
Oh
Kickstarter.
yeah,
It kind of
yeah.
ties in. So talk about that for just a second. I have to deal with some.
Well, Twitter's good for 2 things. One is fighting with people because that's all those motherfuckers on Twitter like to do, and 2, advertisement. Uh, a lot of people like when you share out different links to Kickstarters and Indiegogo accounts will fucking check it out, and a lot of times those people wind up backing the project they look at. So, and there's always people on there saying, "Hey, send me your Kickstarters and what's new and what's," so it works for that. And that's it, Meredith.
Well, okay, so part of the reason why I've been growing my social media, all of them, all right,
Mhm.
and there's a lot. I mean, there's LinkedIn, there's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Pinterest. Pinterest, which I thought was
Mm-mm, I won't fuck with
gone,
that.
is out there.
I
I
hate
mean,
it.
I don't like it either. There are a lot of platforms that I don't like, but I have a presence there because one, I wanted to lock in my username, and two, it's like, where is my audience? I want to find my audience. Where are they? You know, but in order for me to find my audience, I had to really kind of figure out what the hell I wanted to do when I grew up, right?
Right. Right.
Because I mean, for me, publishing has been in my blood for years. I would say over a decade, professionally. Um, but there's also marketing, which comes with that. And as a small business owner, several small businesses, that have come and gone. In my experience, you kind of need that to stay in touch with your customers, your consumers, and things.
Right.
So there's a certain amount of marketing, and then just the fun stuff and letting loose and the silly memes and all that stuff. It makes it uh, almost necessary in this day and age. So what I've found is, so you need those numbers. It's like sending out an invitation to anybody.
Right.
All right. You have to send out like 100 and maybe you'll get 10 back, right?
Right.
It's always that ratio. There's a ratio in there that just seems to go, whether it's a wedding invitation or whether it's an invitation to your Kickstarter. And let me tell you, if you've got 5,000 followers on Twitter or more, and 1% of that goes and checks out your Kickstarter, I'd say you're doing pretty damn good,
Right.
right?
Right.
Why would you be like, no, Twitter sucks, not going there? Why would you do that?
Right. And I'm also selective too. I don't just like, a lot of people just go through and like follow, 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 follow. So they, and
Yep.
it's like, nope. I want to see in your description something to do with podcasting, comic books, publishing.
Mhm.
I'm looking for certain things, and I'm making sure that when I send out, when I follow, that's what I'm looking for,
Yeah,
because
and I
those are the
do.
people I want to follow me back.
I
Because
don't do follow for follow. I
come
really don't.
come see
I
my shit.
right. Come see my stuff. I've got a pinned post right now, which has C. Michael Lanning's art on a comic book that a story that is going to be in the continuum. And so when I have that pinned, if I follow somebody and they follow me back, guess what? I'm looking at their thread first before I follow them back. It's like, okay, who are you? What are you doing? Just like Nita said, I take a look to see what it is that they do, what it is that they retweet. If it's not in line with the things that I do, I'm not going to follow them back. And chances are they're just looking to bump up their numbers, and that's fine. That is, I know a lot of marketers who go in there and every day they'll follow like 100 people and unfollow the next day.
God,
Every
if
day,
I did that,
every day, every
I'd be
day.
banned for a month.
Yeah. But see,
That's
I
fucking
and I
flip out
don't
if I
know.
follow 5 or 6
I have no idea why you have been like
targeted.
they've got you under a microscope. I don't understand why that is, or why you you know
Right?
I mean,
I'm boring.
you're actually sharing out other people's stuff. It's not like spamming your own stuff.
I
so
know.
so that doesn't make any sense.
It's
but
cute.
I know marketers who do that because they're like, hey, I can get you exponential growth on your Twitter account, blah blah blah, buy my
Right.
services and stuff like that. And those are the practices that they do. I personally don't like to do that. I like organic growth, and I like connecting with people who do things um that are either funny or in line with what I'm doing, or a connection, or maybe a future interview, or just kind of keeping an eye on what's going on. And because of my association with Geek Insider, I'm looking for tech people. I have a personal interest in blockchain and cryptocurrency
Right.
because of sites like Steam and Whale Shares, Hive, and a whole bunch of others. So I have tech people, I have movie people, I have music people, artists, illustrators, writers. I mean, the writing community is huge, but a
Right.
lot of times I'm finding, even on Twitter, the writing community is just like, here's my stuff and let's do a
Mhm.
writer's lift. And I'm like, where's the interaction? I'm not
Right.
really seeing it. And lately, because of comic books and Continuum Comics, it's like, okay, I need to pay a little bit more attention to indie comics. And like any other platform, you need to know um, what works and what doesn't. So Twitter is very hashtag heavy.
Mhm.
You want to find the hashtags that are kind of trending, and you want to jump on board so that you can be found, because it goes so fast and there's a lot of noise. It's like, okay, how do you stand out in a positive way so that people do want to follow you and not doing something stupid?
Like saying
Um,
fuck a lot.
you and I are going to be talking about that, lady, off camera.
Mm.
Uh, I woke up with a dream about that in particular. It was weird. Anyway,
Mm.
so going back to my very first Kickstarter experience. All right. And I'm not saying that I'm a pro, but I'm not saying I'm a noob either. I understand uh, platforms that help make money. I'm familiar with Patreon. I'm familiar with Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and was a GoFundMe and all of those things. It's like, what does it look like? What's the format? How do you put one together and all that stuff? So I get it. They're in a lot of ways they're very similar. So my very first Kickstarter, I went in and I said, I've got kind of a low goal, and quite honestly, I hope I don't make it, because then I really have to deliver on this shit. And, it was just, but I wanted to see how it worked. I wanted to see what it looked like in the background. And I set myself up well, in a way, I set it up so that if it succeeded, it didn't look like shit. But if it failed, I'd be like, yeah, okay,
Right.
it's it's all right, because I didn't really intend it to succeed, and it didn't. And I'm okay with that because I was able to see the tools and get familiar with them and go, okay, now now's the time to shed or get off the pot. It's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be serious about this? Do you want to be held accountable, and you know, and be sure that you deliver on this product that you're trying to raise funds on? Like, okay, you know, having a purpose behind it helped. So my second Kickstarter was um kind of a clone of the first, but better. It was better put together. I had an idea of what I was going to do, and I had a direction. It was like, okay, what are these funds being used for, and all that stuff. And I was very surprised, and being that it was prose, that it is prose, I was very surprised by the reception. And I
And you
don't
pushed
know.
it.
I did. I mean, I think I probably could have pushed it harder because,
Oh
but there were a
yeah.
lot of things that I didn't know the first go around that I was learning as I went with the second go around. And a lot of that was have your shit in order before you launch,
Yep.
have your promo stuff, have your images, have your updates, because if things are going well, you kind of know what your updates are going to be, right? You hit a certain backer goal, maybe you have something set for that. You have a certain monetary goal, you have something set for that. I didn't have any of those things. I mean, I kind of had an idea, but then when it came to promo, it just felt like, okay, for everything, I had to create a new image or have something set up that took extra time. I'm like, oh man, if I had just done this ahead of time, I would be way ahead of the curve, and then I could focus on just promoting it, you know. So that was something that that I'm that I've learned, and will be taking that into account for any other Kickstarters in the future, any other kind of crowdfunder. Now the problem is, with the second one, um, I had a tier out there that says, "Hey, I'm going to write some new stories," right?
Right. And then life happens.
And then life happens,
And
and
hard. Life came over. Bend over, Meredith. I'm out of lube.
when it rains it pours. I mean, it just felt like everything was just like and it's like, oh, and by the way, you're not getting a lot of sleep, and you've got all this stress, and this is happening and that's happening. I mean, I went from, hey, I have a roof over my head, to, hey, guess what, you have to move,
Yep.
like, yesterday.
Yep.
So house hunting, going to look at houses, closing on a house, moving. But and in the meantime, it was just like, I'm fighting my own demons, I'm fighting depression, I'm fighting mania, I'm fighting all of this other stuff. I'm trying to keep my head above water with other things, work, chasing down the dollar, chasing down a dollar, just because I'm a freelancer. um, and it'd be nice to pay the bills, you know. So all of these other things, and then it was just like, okay. And in that time period also, my youngest got married. The stress of not being able to go up and enjoy their day, the other stress of not seeing my first grandchild yet, it's just like all of these life things, and I'm going, and it all felt like it was shit piled into 2 or 3 months.
Well, it kind of was.
It was. I'm like, why does this happen? Um, and and that's it, John. This is the lesson. This is the lesson from that, and I've learned it, and I will abide by it. Always have your content created before you launch. It gives you a nice cushion. Absolutely 100%. My next one, I'm not pushing anything. I am not launching any kind of crowdfunder until the project is done, or at least as close to done as possible. You know, 'cause the other thing was, I'm like, I can't order any books because I need to finish up the story, and then I have to send it to a printer. Well, where's the printer going to send it if I'm in between addresses? You
Right.
know, so there was that too. So, you know, all of those things have been kind of weighing on me. And now that I'm settled, it's like, okay, now I can hammer down. And today was the first day, even though the rest of my house is a hot mess. Today was the first day that I was able to hammer down and get caught up on stuff.
Except
You
for
know,
Nita.
Nita, you've been taking a little bit of a social media break,
Yeah.
even from me.
No, dude, I'm like posting shit looking for you online. I'm like online. Meredith, pay attention to me, please.
Oh
Look
my
at me.
gosh.
Look at me,
I
Meredith.
I tell you what, I took a nap. I took a nap before this and I slept hard. You know, my husband said I'd check for a pulse except you were snoring like I don't I must have been shaking the house. You know, he says, but he's like, you did not move. It's just like
Boy, man, this shared space come August is sounding more and more promising.
I'm telling you, you've been warned. You, if there's an upstairs, you take the upstairs or something, because yeah, it's gonna be bad. No, there isn't
No,
an upstairs, is there? It's like a
and you wouldn't
studio
want
or
to be beneath me anyway.
something.
Just saying.
But Kickstarter, John Celestri, you made the point for me. Always have the stuff created if at all possible, because the third Kickstarter that I've been involved with was for Continuum Comics, Enter the Continuum. And we busted our ass and we probably rebuilt that campaign, what, three times?
3 times while it was running.
While it was running, and replacing art and fixing stories. And in the meantime, I was lettering because there were stories in there that I didn't intend to be in the first one. But it was just like, hey, we need a story. It's like, I got one, but it needs tweaking. It's like, okay, do it.
Yep.
So Nita and I were doing like long hours, but it
Really
was
long.
essentially done. We just needed to tweak it. And when the time came, it's like, and it closed out, and we were looking at this and going, okay, you ready to? Are let's do one final look through, one final read. Let's send the PDF and start delivering. It's like, oh shit. It's like, yeah, okay, let's send. You know, and then it's just like, okay, now we have to wait uh, for funds so that we can print. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I
Mm-hmm.
will.
Mm.
uh, Trust me, their stuff's coming out. But we were like, okay, you know what? The time frame came where we're supposed to get the funds. Let's send this to the printer. It's at the printer. I know that we are waiting for delivery on that, and those are going to be shipped out.
They're gonna
It's
be
like,
awesome.
and it's going to be awesome. And it was like, there's no stress there. I mean, there is because of some of the background stuff, but the point is that the stuff was done
Right.
and ready to go. I'm like, yes, that's the way it should be. So I guess kind of like what I wanted to talk about today was kind of those bullet points. You know, when you're putting together your campaign, make sure that you have your images put together. Put together your updates ahead of time. You know, you can always do like those fill in the blanks and stuff. Make sure that it has your voice so that people know it's you. Um, Even the surveys and things like that. Surveys for me was the biggest pain in the butt because Kickstarter doesn't really make it easy. You have to go to each one and fill in all these things. It's like, okay, what questions do you want to ask? What information do you need from them to deliver? And then, of course, Kickstarter's like something about like no marketing allowed. It's like, what, the whole thing is marketing. What the hell are you talking about? What does that mean?
Right.
You know,
Right.
so it's like, okay,
Please
do I?
elaborate.
Yeah, I'm like, am I allowed to do this? Am I not allowed to do this? If I do this and you come back at me, you know, do I get a pass or something like that because I didn't know? I mean, like
Right.
define this a little bit more for me. So, you know, just there was that, but having your questions for the different tiers that you have, knowing what your tiers are, knowing what your goals are, what's going to unlock this or that, and having that set up. All of this stuff that you can do in advance, do it. Everything that you can do in advance, do it. Um, it makes it so much easier in the long run. Nita, what about you? I mean, you saw us in the background doing things. I mean, like even the updates.
Right. I got nothing. I
You
got
got.
nothing. I got nothing because right now it's best if I keep my mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me?
I do. I
Okay.
do. Uh, Christian smells like egg rolls and Old Bay shrimp. Time for the Asian in the kitchen.
Who the fuck eats Old Bay? That's some Yankee shit. That's Yankee shit. It's Tony Sashery, man. Damn.
She's coming after you.
Mm-mm.
Um, so I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'm an open book when it comes to my own experiences uh, with that, even with the writing process and stuff like that. And we didn't have a guest lined up. Honestly, I didn't know if we were going to go live streaming today, but being that we missed Friday because I was in the middle of a move.
Right.
Um,
And that's the only
and
reason since I wasn't like with Josh. Hey, dude, you want to come on tonight? Because I was like, what if she doesn't show up? Then I'm gonna have to be like, hey, you want to reschedule again?
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, we're going to keep this kind of short and simple
Yeah, I think we're
today.
good.
I kind of wanted to just touch on those bullet points. I'm starting to choke on myself. Nita, take over for a little bit. Tell them what we're doing coming up soon.
What are we doing coming up soon? There's too much stuff I can't even talk about, Meredith.
Who are we getting lined up?
Oh, okay. So on the 30th, we have Lola, the India Princess, and she is going to be promoting her book, Lore. And my calendar is missing. So let's see. Does this one have the right stuff on it? Okay, someday this week we're gonna have Josh. We're looking at Tuesday right now, but I've got to get in touch with him too. And on the 7th, we have Christy Shin, creator of Demon Bitch, who has agreed to do a fucking challenge with us, which is gonna be awesome. So you guys don't want to miss that.
And we're not trying to kill each other with that challenge.
No, but we could. Because I hear you can choke to death.
That would be terrible.
That would be fucking awesome if I go out like that. Oh my god.
Do we want to tell people what that is, or are we just going to start promoting the hell out of it later?
We'll promo it later. We gotta
It's
have
going to be
secrets,
fun.
Meredith.
And it shouldn't kill our keto.
No, because you don't.
You're not supposed to.
Oh, you look at you putting me in a position to say something bad. Oh,
I'll say it. Puts you in a position to possibly swallow. It's a food challenge, kind of, sort of, maybe. Doesn't involve swimmers at all.
Oh my god, Meredith!
What?
What?
I think that was PG. Where's your mind?
I don't know.
I really have nothing else, you guys. This was kind of a RAGIN, like a regular RAGIN. Next week we'll be back to kind of regular schedule.
Sort of.
Nita, are you taking the weekend off? I know you've got storms coming up in the area. I don't know what your weekend's looking like, and I know that you're kind of well, social media is not being kind to you, so you're like, screw you.
Well, tomorrow my band lifts, so I was actually planning on making a post tonight for Kickstarters and shit and getting back at it tomorrow. And we've got shit we need to do before we meet with the guys.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Any package reveals?
No, not at this time.
Not yet.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, you're supposed to be getting a few, right?
Yes, they're always late here. Nobody cares when you live in the sticks.
But we are going to be sharing our links out to social media. We are not going to be live streaming through Facebook anymore because it does like I said at the beginning, it tends to put our
Which
Facebook friends
sucks
in
because
jail.
everybody's on Facebook. Nobody talks to us except for Christian over here. Oh, and John.
Yeah, we've got John, and
Yeah.
we've got a few other people who Joe D. McPhee usually jumps in
I miss
here.
our friends.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to share the YouTube link at Facebook if
But
they
fuck
don't
you,
ban
Facebook.
that. Yeah, it's not right. But I think we're our channel. We're up to what 61 subscribers now.
What?
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
61.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Like to get to 100. So Christian says regular region. That means there's an irregular region, and I
Oh,
want to see that.
well.
Well, you have to tune in for what is it, May 7th?
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely going to be irregular,
It'd definitely be irregular. And then
but it's
after
going to be
too.
fun. But it's
Oh
going to
my
be fun,
god.
and we're really not trying to kill each other with this one. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I have to get like a
Oh,
supersized bib or something.
you're gonna have a package reveal soon.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was supposed to go out today, but somebody forgot it. Big ass box sitting at the foot of the fucking bed. If this one's massive, probably gonna cost me $100 to send it to you.
Mm.
And he just leaves it. Like, you didn't see that. You did. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Big old taped address sticker on it, dude. You were 5 seconds from the UPS store. But anyway, he'll be there tomorrow too, so he's gonna do it then.
Okay.
And there's all kinds of
And
shit in this one. It's crap.
I still have yours that I have to send out,
Ooh.
and I found it among all the moving things.
Mm-mm.
So, but
Yeah, I had to double check and make sure because I had your box over here in the corner, and I was like just tossing random shit in it, and then I realized that the paper basket was right there, and so I'm like, I go to look in your box, and there's like 45 fucking scrunched up legal pad pages. And I'm like, I'm not sure if Meredith wants all this. Oh, and then it was like, Meredith would probably read this shit. So
I probably would.
I
You're like,
know.
what is she sending me love notes all crinkled up and shit? And you finally got your background set. I don't know if you want to give that a little love.
Meh.
Meh. I'm
There
going
it
to put you
is.
up on the big screen. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. You've got your sketches and I see Venom. I see the Max.
Mhm.
What else is back there?
All kinds of shit. Fuck Fairyland and Venom and Rat Queens and the Max and Sandman and Ninja Turtles and House of Bob and some of Daphne's work and a whole bunch of shit. A whole bunch of shit. The Oswald
You're gonna
Chronicles.
you're gonna need a bigger closet so that you can hang up more stuff. You need more walls.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of walls, so that is still I haven't really had a chance to sit down and plan for it, but through Geek Insider, we want to do the Shelfie Awards.
Yeah, that's why I'm not eligible.
Why?
Because I
Because
can't
what?
host something and try to fucking win it. That's shitty. They'll be like, nepotism. Meredith gave that to Nita. Even though mine's the coolest fucking room.
But you're not in Geek Insider technically.
No, but I would be hosting with you.
Yeah, you would be. At least one of well.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna present this award to myself because I fucking rock, yo. No.
There's got to be a little category that we can do for or at least show off our stuff. I don't have my stuff at all anywhere. Like Rob was teasing me today when he was
The
doing
Antiques
weekend
Roadshow.
the Antiques Roadshow because I've got my china cabinet behind the top half of my china cabinet behind me. I'm like, I don't have anywhere else to put it. I downsize, you guys. I have more shit than house. Okay. I'm like, and the bottom half is being used as our entertainment center for, TV sitting on that. I'm like, okay, make do. Yeah, no, but the shelfie. Okay, so the shelfie is going to be where you can show off your displays, and it could be by genre. It could be by just like your if you've got a curio cabinet or a table or a wall or a room dedicated. I think maybe size does matter. I don't know. It could be your Funko Pop collection. It could be whatever, but it's going to be fun and it's for the fans. The fans are going to be the ones who are going to take pictures of their stuff. They've got to take a selfie with their shelfie, and yeah, we're going to make it fun. So that's going to happen this summer, and I'll have more details about that soon. Yeah, for Instagram. And I think that's it, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow at some point. If you don't sign up for our YouTube channel, you will never get notified when we go live,
Never.
because sometimes we don't know when we're going to go live. Um,
Most of the times we don't.
yeah, we're like,
Just
hey,
Fridays, usually.
yeah,
Let's go. Throw them
all right.
dudes.
We've got that. It's Friday. Just stream of consciousness or some
Some
shit.
shit.
See ya.